Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Special. Happy Wednesday morning. Hope everyone's all right. Hope everyone's okay and looking after themselves. So I'm just turning up my mic. There we go. In this video, we are doing obviously the Chelsea preview. I was supposed to do it last night. I won't lie, I forgot. I am going to apologise. I forgot. So we're going to be doing the Chelsea preview. We got some injury news as well that's come out, not only from our side but also Chelsea side. Some bad news for Spurs. So we'll get to that in just a second. We're going to be talking about Aston Villa wanting Romero and a figure of the price even lower than I reported the other day. So you know it's absolute crap. We're going to be also talking about Callum Oluseyi signing a contract in the last hour or so. And there's a few other things I want to talk about. So we'll get to it all in due course. Morning Spurs, Dragon, Steve, Graham, not Yvonne, Graham, Jazz and Jake. How are we all? So look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a little bit of news. Let me start with actually Oluseyi, because I think this is really good to see. So Callum Oluseyi has agreed to sign a new 3-year deal at the club. The agreement takes Oluseyi up to one of the highest earners in the academy after his Europa League debut. That came from Fabrizio Romero. So, you know, having obviously first and foremost, congratulations to Callum. You know, deserved. I think we've seen flashes of a player that has some ability, which is great to see. You know, for so long, the academy has been underwhelming. So it's great to see some actual talent coming through and talent that's relevant. No offense to some other ones in the past, but there's a reason why we can't stack out a European squad is because we don't have any real quality coming through. Bar Harry Kane, who's the next best that's come through into the first team squad? There you go. So look, first and foremost, like I said, congratulations to Callum. I'm hoping next season he gets himself a really good loan move, a championship loan move, maybe something like that. I'm hoping that he gets some regular game time to develop. Obviously, we've seen how important that's been for Josh Keeley and Jamie Donnelly at Leyton Orient, playing, you know, meaningful football, playing good quality amounts of football as well. So that's massive. We're going to be obviously hopeful that their progression continues the way their trajectory is showing. Obviously, it's been great for people like, Manor Solomon's a bit older, but loan moves can be really, really beneficial. So hopefully this is another one where it is going to be beneficial and we get to see a real uptick in his development. I think some other youngsters have struggled a little bit. I think George Abbott down at County's been great. Like I said, the two Leyton Orient boys have been great. You know, Vuskovic isn't really a Spurs player, so I'm not going to count him in that group just yet, if I'm honest. So hopefully he's one of those ones and not, you know, the ones where they're barely getting any minutes, like Dane Scarlett last season at Ipswich or at present Will Lancashire at West Brom. So, but first and foremost, and the only thing that matters is congratulations. It is deserved. Come on, let's talk about Romero. Let's talk about Romero because this is just crap. This is every day we seem to get more and more news about Christian Romero. He's leaving. He's this. Look at the price. Now, let's refer back to last summer. Real Madrid were lurking. They were sniffing around him, going, "Oh, Christian, we'd like Christian Romero." And Spurs went, "Not a problem. 150 million." That was what was reported. It was about 150 million that they quoted Real Madrid. So why is it that I'm talking about figures only a year later, closer to 50 million? It's just literally not true. Even if the price got halved, that's 75 million. We're not taking 100 million off a guy who has multiple years on his contract. He doesn't have one, he has more than one. So let's read this bogus report. Let's laugh about it together and let's just call it crap because it is crap. My best speaking voice. Christian Romero wants Tottenham exit as Aston Villa circle. Oh, this comes from footballchances.com. Oh, this is great. Aston Villa boss Unai Emery is aiming to bring Tottenham defender Christian Romero to Villa Park this summer. The Argentine is looking for a new challenge, and the Birmingham club are ready to offer him a tempting opportunity. We are told that Spurs are open to selling Romero, but want around £55 million. Yeah, this is just crap. Sources with knowledge of the situation say Tottenham are preparing for his exit and are already searching for a replacement at centre back. Apparently, this is great. This is how you know it's utter crap. This next bit, I love this. Antonio Conte remains a big fan of the defender after his time at Tottenham and is keen to reunite with him. Romero hates Conte. It was reported by everyone. If Conte had stayed, he was handing in a transfer request. He's not going to bloody Napoli to join him. This is why you don't literally believe everything you read online. This is rubbish. Absolute rubbish. No way on God's green earth. One, are we selling him for 55 million? Two, he wants to go back to see Conte and play in Conte ball. Not a chance. There's more likely of that shirt turning red right now than him wanting to go play for Conte. He hates Conte. He can't stand the guy. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, do you know what? It's like this guy wants to leave. Right, we're all going to pile on. This is what the media do. They pile on something and they just constantly talk about it. And then if it happens, they go, "Ha, we told you so." And even if it happens in a year's time, they go, "Ha, we told you so a year ago." That's all it is. They want to be right. He's not going to Napoli. He only goes to Napoli if Conte's not there. Doesn't like Conte. Kind of a problem. Spurs probably don't want to sell their best player to Conte as well after the comments that he made. I'm talking about Levy won't want to sell him there unless Napoli are offering crazy money. And even then, he'll probably reject it. He'll want Spain. He'll want Atletico. He'll want Real. Now, with Real's situation, Real played yesterday and they conceded a boatload of goals. And you know, if Rudiger doesn't play, they fall apart at the back. And maybe that's why they're looking at centre-back sort of thing. But regardless, the other key issue here is he's not going for 55 million. He's got 2 years left on his deal, right? I'd expect to get 55 million with 1 year left on his deal. There are players who have gone for a similar amount with 1 year left on their deals who aren't in the league and who haven't won things like Romero. So 55 million will probably get you one of his legs. The figure will be closer to 80 to 90 than it would 50 million. It's just utter crap. It's lazy reporting as well. It's super lazy. He's not going 50 million. All right, let's just pop that one. That's rubbish. But let's say it's completely true, right? Let's take it at face value. It's completely true. Okay. Don't you, the Spurs fan, now sit there and go, Aston Villa are picking at our best players? And this might be true. They might want Romero. But don't you sit there and go, they want our best player, but we're told we can't financially compete? You see there's an issue there as well, isn't there? Now, I don't believe they will get Romero. I mean, look, if we're selling Romero in league, I would expect the figure to be 100 million plus. We will sell him abroad and take less of a fee just so we don't have to deal with him. And if we do have to deal with him, it's once or twice. That's it. We don't have to deal with him every single season. Rubbish. But, I mean, I was looking at Aston Villa's figures. Their revenue increased by 27% because of the Champions League. You know, they're at 275 million pounds. And their reported losses of 85.4 million after tax. So you get a lot of Spurs fans go, "Oh, we reported losses." Yeah, I mean, every club has pretty much reported a loss. It's kind of what happens in football. The thing is, it's about the long term, how you make your money. If you then, I mean, look at the losses Spurs would have made over the years, right? How much is it worth now? 10 times the amount? Not exactly, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I mean, that's a worry. You know, they're going all out. They even said the losses are because we're really trying to push the first team squad and the women's squad side of things. They did mention the women's foot. They're trying to push that. So hey, just remember that is all I'm going to say. That's a club that really went for it in January. Yeah, they sold Duran. Yeah, but they went for it. They brought in players to help. We did a whole month and only signed a keeper. Anyway, moving on. I'm not going to get myself wound up by that because it will wind me up a lot. That story already winds me up enough as it is. So there you go. There's a little bit of chances. Let's talk Chelsea. This is way more important. Way more important. So Chelsea tomorrow night. Spurs versus Chelsea. Now, obviously, this game, London derby, first game after an international break, form really is irrelevant, to be honest, going into this game. And it goes, I think form, I've always said, and I've been really clear about this, I think form's irrelevant when it comes to derbies anyway. I watched Rangers rock up to Celtic a few weeks ago and dominate. And Celtic are the best team in Scotland, and Rangers struggle with Dundee away. So for me, it's not about, look at them, they're chasing this. No, to be honest, it's about turning up and going, hey, I fancy scrapping today. I fancy putting in a few challenges. I fancy getting, I fancy putting that energy in. It's really down to that, and that's why when you think about when you play a lower league team, for example, and they give you a real scrap. I mean, I watched Leverkusen yesterday lose to a German League 3 side. I'll repeat that again. I watched Bayer Leverkusen, a team that went undefeated in the Bundesliga last season, who won the German Cup as well. They did a double. They lost to a Division 3 side in Germany. And you're thinking, well, yeah, they must have rotated, Andy. I'm pretty sure starting goalkeeper was out there. Jonathan Tah was out there. Piero Hincapi, who was at fault for, I think, both goals, actually. He was really poor, Hincapi. Grimaldo and Frimpong and Xhaka and Ondrish, Patrick Schick. They lost to a German League 3 side. A German League 3 side. Okay, so that's really awful. Okay, that's really awful. So sometimes when it comes to these games, are you up for it? Are you up for it? And then it literally does not matter about quality on the pitch at times. If you're willing to run your ass off, fly into tackles, get stuck in, get a bit rowdy, wind a few people up, you'll get results. You will get results. The more energy you put in, the more you get out, They always say the more you put in good into the world, the more good you're going to get back from the world. Same thing in football. The more you put into a football game, the more you get out. They say when players are playing poorly, the more the effort they put in, they always say, if someone's playing poorly, run about, make yourself a nuisance at least, But anyway, let's talk a little bit about some facts and figures. Chelsea have lost just one of their last 12 Premier League games against Spurs, winning 9, drawing 2. Winning the last 3 in a row by an aggregate of 10-4. Obviously, that would coincide with playing with 9 men at one game. Because we obviously lost 4-3 last time out. Tottenham have lost each of their last 3 Premier League games against Chelsea, last losing more consecutively against the Blues between January 2000 and March 2002, which was 6. Chelsea have won more Premier League games of 36 and scored more Premier League goals of 120 against Tottenham than they have any other opponent. Only 3 teams have scored more goals against a side in the competition than 120 versus Spurs. They are all at 124. So it's a high scoring game for them. No side has earned fewer points in Premier League derbies than this season than Tottenham. We're level Brentford at 10 points. Spurs have suffered more London derby defeats in a league campaign in 04-05. We've lost 5 so far. So we're catching. Chelsea have won each of the last 4 Premier League games at Stamford Bridge, the last 2 of which while also keeping a clean sheet. Only once in the last 5 seasons have Chelsea won 3 successive home league games without conceding, doing so from April to May 2024, which included a 2-0 win over us. So there you go. A little bit of cracking stats. Chelsea right now sitting 4th in the Premier League. Having won 14, drawn 7, lost 8. Spurs are 10 places below in 14th, having won 10, drawn 4, lost 15. Isn't that mad? They've won 4 more games than us, right? and they're 15 points clear. Mental. But what was also funny is Spurs have scored more goals than Chelsea this season. They've scored 53, we've scored 55. I think the key issue here is we conceded more. We've conceded 43 and they've conceded 37. So look, on the face things, yeah, not great. I'm choosing just to be positive. We're not playing today, so I don't need to be. I mean, every time I load up Twitter, it's just our own fans who just take shots at their own players and the club. And I feel for those people as humans. I just think they're miserable, and I feel for them. Hopefully, they find happiness in their life. If it's true that Levy needs to open up his eyes? Yeah, I know exactly. He won't go to Villa. No, I read that Van der Ven has done his hamstring in training again. Hopefully, it's late April Fools. There's been no talk about any injuries. It was an April Fool's joke. Don't believe everything you read. Andy, don't forget, people laughed at Bayern when they lost to a League 3 side last season. Well, ironically, the League 3 side that they lost to last season were worse than this side, to be fair. But this is also a side that beat Bayer Leverkusen a few years ago as well. And they beat them at Bayer Leverkusen's place. So always remember that. Shows you how important mentality is. If players go out there with the right mentality and they're up for it, and they're not up for it, you tend to lose. So look, talking about a little bit of injury news, let me start a bit of Chelsea. So good news for them is Cole Palmer is fit to play Spurs. Of course, every team that ever has injuries, when it comes to them playing Spurs, they seem to get miraculously healthy. Don't know why. Don't know how it happens. We obviously seem to feed the energy of please get healthy to play us. Noni Madueke is also better, and Nicholas Jackson as well. They are all good. Latvia is the only one that had a small setback. So their rotational central defensive midfielder behind Caicedo and Fernandes. So, oh no, what a shame. They've got nearly £250 million in their central midfield area. Oh no. How will they cope? Look, there's a key thing for me when it comes to this Chelsea side. I've watched Chelsea quite a bit this season. And I'm not sitting here, they play this formation, they do this triangles. I'm not one of those Twitter losers who talks with weird, sort of ideas around. Actually, Enzo Fernandez is better in this sort of role to this sort of role. And I touch grass. I see human beings in my life. You know what I mean? The one thing that I know that you can get at this Chelsea side, I can categorically say it because I watched him at Brighton for years. Robert Sanchez is a flapper under the high ball. If you put crosses in there, he'll claim a couple, he'll punch a couple, but he will fumble one or two of them and you will get opportunities. His distribution out from the back looks great on paper. You watch the games, the amount of times that his passing accuracy hasn't made the 100% is because he's just basically given it to a striker or he's given it to a winger and they're on the break. You can get at this Chelsea team through the keeper. You 100% can. I think they've got better keepers out on loan. I don't know why some of their keepers out on loan are there and not playing more first-team football. They've got 12 keepers, I know, or something ridiculous. So there's that. But no, you can get this Chelsea team from that keeper. 100% you can. I've seen it so many times this season alone where he is not intentionally, but he is easily giving the ball away and teams haven't pounced enough on him. I'm just saying, shoot from distance, put crosses in. And what I don't mean is flash crosses have got the 6-yard box. Put them in the air. Because he will fumble one or two of them and you will get an opportunity as long as you are ready. So I hope Dominic Solanke's ready because there might be an opportunity here or there where he will flap. He flaps at a high ball all the time. You see it. He might get a little touch and it'll go out to one of our fullbacks, but he's flapped at it, whereas he should have claimed that. It's the little things that he does that you can get. So look, there's that key thing. Now, when you look at the Chelsea side, Cucurella's going to be playing at left back. He's having a very good season. Obviously, Sanchez in goal. I think Reece James will probably be playing right back. Obviously, he seems to be healthy at the moment. We'll see about that. I don't think Gusto will start. I don't know if Gusto's even healthy, but he won't start ahead of them. Centre back wise, I assume Colwill and Chalobah. I don't think Fofana's back. I think he's out injured, is he not? But I think Cole and Chalobah would be the shout, unless it's Tosin. It's one of those two. Yeah, the guy that rejected our contract offer in the summer. Midfield two, I'd assume Caicedo and Fernandez. The attack, Cole Palmer will be sitting in front of those two. You'd think Neto. I think Jackson starts. Neto is Madueke going to play on the right and Neto on the left? Maybe. I don't think Sancho's going to be that guy. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he will be. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go Neto and Madueke for the sake of argument for today. I'll say that's their team. Both teams are evenly matched up, but Spurs have a better striker. Dr. Tottenham works on opponents' injuries too, clearly. I know, right? It's every single time. I don't know where or how we do it. A team will have 8 to 10 injuries. They play Tottenham and then they've got 1 injury. It's like, what the hell has happened here? Managers love being brought in. It's like, first game up. Oh, look, it's Tottenham. I don't know how we do it. It's actually impressive. I'm not even angry about it. I'm just impressed at how we seem to bring everyone out of their woodworks to play us. We should test Sanchez all game. He's awful and gives goals. So, Andy, will you play Porro for his crossing ability? Well, I'll come to it, Jazz. I'll come to my team in a minute. It'll be Fofana and Chilwell. Fofana and Colwell, sorry. Chilwell was at Palace. I don't know why I said that. Hey, Donna, how are you? So anyway, moving on to the Spurs situation. A little bit of injury news, and we have bad injury news. Dejan Kulusevski is still not back from injury. There was talk that they hope to have him back for this game, but I don't think they're going to risk him. Even for Sunday, I don't think they'll risk him either. But yeah, Ange confirmed that Danso and Kulusevski will miss the Stamford Bridge game. He says that they're progressing. They're working hard still, and they're probably a couple of weeks away, but both progressing well. A couple of weeks away. Why is it that we pull hamstrings? Like Danso pulls a hamstring, and it's like every hamstring we have, everyone normally it's like 2 to 3 weeks. Ours are like 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know how we do it. Do all of our players who by the way, I love it. Someone will go, it's all Ange. Ange does hamstrings. Shut up, you losers. Spurs versus Bournemouth. What date was that? 9th of March. So if he's out for another couple of weeks, that's 6 weeks out with an injury. I don't get it. I just don't get how the hell we get injuries. And it's like, here's what a normal team have injuries for. We're going to add an extra 3 or 4 weeks to every single injury. And maybe what it is that they're taking relative care. They're not trying to risk it. They're not trying to overdo it because what they've done is, in the past, brought players back maybe a little bit too early. They've got injured again. Maybe that's what they're doing because medical team. I'm just going to say medical team. You know what I mean by it. Maybe that's what they're doing. Ange and the coaching staff have sort of said, look, they say this, let's add an extra week or two because that seems to be more so correct. We'll sort of see. Moving on to Richarlison. Richarlison is back in training. He is training with the main group as well. They're sort of deliberating when they actually bring him back into match day contention. So we'll see about that. I think match day contention, if I'm honest, I think maybe Southampton at the weekend. I think we'll see Richarlison. Look, he might be back tomorrow night. He might be in the squad, and they might say he can give us 10 to 15 minutes easily. We'll play him that 10 to 15 minutes. But in reality, I would hope that he's back for Southampton. He gets 20 minutes against Southampton. So then if we need him against Frankfurt, he can give you half an hour against Frankfurt. And all I'm going to say is, Dominic Solanke, I really appreciate the fact that you seem to stay as healthy as physically possible with the sheer volume of football that you're having to play, Chief, because Richarlison's not helping you. Yeah. I feel for Dom. I feel for Dom because it'd be nice if Dom didn't have to play 7,000 games every single week because Richarlison could stay fit more. And hopefully, knock on wood, this is the last injury Richarlison has all season. He's fit all season. And therefore, you're going to see a better Solanke because Solanke will be a little bit fresher. I've got no evidence that'll be true, obviously. It's just me being hopeful and an optimist. Maybe a bit deluded as well. But hey, look, that on that side of things, yes, we're missing a few guys from injury. Lucas Bergvall, in terms of the international break, did miss time through illness. He is apparently okay and fine again. Probably had a flu or a cold or something and set him back. But yeah, he's back. He's all good. And yeah, so I mean, looking at the team, Vicario's in goal. I think Porro plays at right back. Again, like I said, we're probably going to want someone that's going to be happy to whip across into the box. That's the only thing about Spence and a doggy. I don't know why, but never see them put across in the box. But hopefully, yeah, I think we're, like I said, with Sanchez, flapping underneath high balls. I think put Porro at right back for that side of things. Romero and Van der Ven at centre back. They should both be okay to play 90 minutes now. Mickey obviously didn't play over the international break. Romero did, but he obviously played. Let's just double check. Argentina, the 26th of March. So a week ago he played. So it'll be 8 days since he last played. Of course, he took McAllister off though, because Liverpool probably cried and said he needs to get some rest. Yeah, I think Romero's fine to play 90 minutes. If Mickey's not fine to play 90 minutes now, I don't think he'll ever be fine to play 90 minutes. He's had so much rest. I'd probably say Destiny at left back for tomorrow night. You'll see what I mean when I'll talk about it in a minute. Midfield, right? Midfield. Maddison has to start. Lucas has to start because Lucas has actually been a good midfielder for us this season. And then pick your poison is all I'm going to say. Pick your poison. Aside from Archie Gray, pick your poison because none of the other midfielders have been good enough this season. They have the odd game or two where you think, oh, there we go. They're on the comeback. The quality is on its route, on its way back. And then obviously you see multiple stinkers lined up after that. And these are the sort of games that I've always said about Bentancur, like that South American fiery side of him that we need, dominate in midfield. And then he turns up and he just has an almighty stinker. And it's like, give me Bentancur tomorrow. I'm going to put some blind faith in him that he's going to turn up and play Bentancur level of football. The football that I just saw of him for Uruguay. He's going to turn up and he's going to do his business. I'm going to put blind faith in him. Maybe I'm an idiot for it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just going to try and believe in him. Okay. At the attacking three, Solanke, obviously striker. I think Son and Odegaard probably be the three that I would go for. Odegaard obviously playing on the right because we've seen Odegaard that can play on the right. Obviously, people will look at that Fulham second goal. I try not to. I try and look at the evidence that I've seen. He has quality when he's been given regular minutes, and I'd probably say Odegaard on the right. So yeah, let me repeat. Vic's in goal. I've gone Destiny. I've gone Porro. I've gone Mickey. I've gone Romero. Bentancur, Bergvall, Madders, Son, Solanke, Odegaard. That's my front three. What do we think? Any changes that you would make in that team? Okay. Hardy, as you said, if players show up and fight, we'll get a result. Love it. Cozy. Our medical team is garbage. You said it. I didn't want to say it. But you know what I mean. Morning, Sonia. How are you? Spence, Porro, Doggy hardly ever get crosses in because they're inverted all the time. What? Do you not see Pedro and Porro spam crosses into the box? Maybe you and I are watching very different games, and maybe you're watching a different team to me. But when I watch Pedro Porro, he's whipping crosses into the box, whips multiple in per game. Vic, Spence, Romero, Van der Ven, Doggy, Gray, Bergvall, Madison, Odegaard, Solanke, Son, Van der Ven if available. Otherwise, yeah, if Van der Ven is available, he's available. We've heard no information coming out that he is injured. Not at all. It was April Fool's yesterday, and we know how April Fool's works. You get some weird, creepy little children on Twitter making up weird little jokes and pretending they're true, and people bite on things. This is one of them because our fan base is just odd, to be honest. It's just odd. That's the only way I'm going to sum up now. They're odd people. All right. They revel in pain, I think, is what they do. And it's just, yeah, questionable human beings. Now, when I was talking about the fullbacks and I was talking about, I put Spence, I actually didn't have Spence starting. Again, people will sit there and go, oh my God, Andy's dropping Spence. Oh my God. Settle down. You're probably right now fuming at me. I can't hear you, obviously, because it's just me talking to you. You're probably fuming. Can't believe you're dropping. It's called rotation. All right. Chelsea this weekend. Sorry, Chelsea tomorrow. Southampton at the weekend. Frankfurt. Frankfurt is in a week. Tomorrow, Frankfurt's in a week. So between Chelsea and Frankfurt is a week, right? We play 3 games. Gonna need everyone. I'm gonna need everyone. All right. If you think Mickey Van der Ven and Romero should play 3 games in this week, you're bonkers. The only person that could is Vicario. And some reason Solanke, but that's just because he's a medical marvel at times. But it should be only Vicario that might play those 3 games. I don't want to see Destiny playing 3 games. I don't want to see Porro playing 3 games. So I'm just looking at it as, hey, Spence is going to come in there. I think Spence plays the weekend. There's a thumbs up. You're welcome. I think he plays at the weekend, and I think he plays in the week against Frankfurt. That's just my thinking. That's just my thinking, at least. And I think Porro plays tonight, and I think maybe Porro plays at the weekend. And I think Destiny and Jed play Thursday next week against Frankfurt. That's just my kind of guess. When I think of the attack, obviously the attack sort of picks itself. I think Johnson will play against Southampton at the weekend. I think Odegaard might. Oh, would it be? I think maybe you go like Odegaard for 60 or Son for 60 and you rotate the other one on, play Johnson a full 90. Maybe that's how you do it. You want to try and get your wingers some rest. Solanke, Richarlison kind of vibe. Defenders, Ben Davies, obviously probably going to feature. We don't know when Danso's really going to be back. They say 2 weeks. We don't know if it's 2 weeks. Let's just say Davies needs to feature. You'd expect Davies to play a full 90 against Southampton. I don't want to see one of those two against Southampton. Play a full 90. You'd probably even say Archie Gray might feature at some point against Southampton at centre-back, maybe. Midfield, obviously, Matters. Look, Matters is going to be massive tomorrow night. I think when we looked at this game last year, I remember talking about how I didn't rate Kulusevski as your number 10. That was because I don't think he can control a game well enough. He loses the ball a little bit too many times. He can't really dictate tempo like Madison can. Hence why I was like, Madison for me is the better creator because he can dictate that tempo. We obviously, at that time, he was going through a lack of form. Obviously, Ange didn't really trust Lo Celso towards the end. It was just Kulu. Kulu had a stinker against Chelsea last season. And then obviously we lose that game. Madison's going to be massive tomorrow. I'd expect at the weekend, though, a bit of rotation. Maybe I'd expect, my midfield for tomorrow, Bentancur, Bergvall, and Matters. I'd expect Pape to play a full 90 at the weekend to give one of them, 90 minutes of rest. It is Southampton. No offense, they're bottom of the league. We should win that game with a rotated side. Famous last words. So yeah, I think for tomorrow, that's my team. I'm going to go somewhat positive. I'm going to go 2-2 with Chelsea versus Tottenham. My goal scorers, I think Odebear. Odebear and Madison. That's my 2 goal scorers for tomorrow. What do you think about the score lines tomorrow? Let me know. What's up, Andy? Is the title true? The Chelsea preview is true. You walk through a door and get a bucket of water in your head. Absolutely. I'm bonkers, but even I don't think that. There you go. Villa really, 200 mil. It's sad that Levy uses the FFP excuse and the board are fine with it. Realistically speaking, what do you think the protest could achieve in a dream world? The board are fine with it, mate, because the board make money out of it as well. The dream world is, I think, more of an open line of communication. I don't think the supporters trust have done themselves any favors this last 2 seasons. You know, they talk a good game, but then they don't play the game. So probably that's the look. The issue you're going to find is right. Levy and Enick make way too much money on Spurs. And you're thinking, well, they didn't take, they maybe didn't take dividends for these X amount of years. Daniel Levy is the highest paid director in all of football, at least in the Premier League. I don't know about all of football; it's just a guess. But in the Premier League, he is. He's about double the next person. And people go, well, he deserves that. For look how much money he's made us. He's done half of his job. The revenue, the footballing side, he's done a terrible job of. So he should be paid half of that money, which would put him in line with other executives. The dream world is great owners, but you're not going to get that, unfortunately. Even with all the abuse, this group make way too much money on the club. They're not going to give it up. The Glazers have had Man United a similar amount of time, right, than Enick, right? They plunged them into hundreds of millions of pounds worth of debt. Take money out of the club, basically. They only did a partial sale because the club's value is going to go up and they can make more money on it. Man United is set. There's potential that's going to be about 5.5 billion, 5 to 6 billion, somewhere in there that the Glazers will pocket from selling Manchester United. So even though they've drawn up debts, the club value always goes up. So even if you look at the debts, the club value always goes up. Spurs have got the training ground complex. They've got a big stadium that commercially sorts itself out with all these events. They want to build that hotel. They've got, the go-karting track. They've got Skywalk. They've got tours. The stadium makes a bucket load of money. The dream world will be a new owner, no debt, and just, do you know what? We're going to spend 300 million this window because we can. But it's not going to happen. I wish protest as well, but struggle to think it make any difference. When is Danso back? Danso supposedly out is for another couple of weeks, apparently. Play our strongest team against Chelsea. I agree. 3-1 Spurs, flipping it. Ooh, Janice. Dom owes us a goal. To Dom and Son 2-1. Draw 1-0. 2-1. Joshua reckons. I hate making predictions. Graham, you have to. It's part of the game. I can't lie. I've had a few in the last sort of 5 to 6 games. I've got them bang on. 5-0 is back. Of course, Steve. I didn't even need to ask what you thought, mate. I knew it was 5-0. But it's nice to make a fool of yourself when you get it completely wrong. That's that. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? I'm not a gospel. The gospel isn't according to Andy. It's just a pump. It's just for me, it's a guess. And I get it wrong so often. To be honest, I get the majority of things wrong so often. Predictions is just one of the many things. Yet you people turn up and talk to me about football. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Annie, look at my picture. I don't need to look at your picture. All right. No, I'm joking. Realistically, how much do you think we should spend the summer if we did and did not win the Europa League? Well, it's a very difficult question to answer, Brian, because it's not just winning the Europa League revenue, what you get. You're going to get more on at least because you're going to have this round and next round. So you get an extra home game, right? That's going to bring in revenue. If you're making it all the way through, sponsorships, you're playing more games, more time for sponsors to be seen, you can charge more. Then also you guaranteed Champions League revenue for next season, even if it's just the league phase. It's a lot of money, but I can't put a number on it right now, so it's hard to say. One thing I would say is this is quite good. Just on Arsenal's record revenue, right, I'm not comparing ourselves to Arsenal. They had 660, so it's about £100 million. No, about £90 million difference. The return of Champions League football increase towards an increase in broadcasting revenue from 191 to 262. So that's 70 million. There you go. That's a huge chunk. And match day revenue went from 102 to 131. Well, that's another 30 million. There you go. That's where the difference is. It's Champions League football. The other one is the club said the renewal and the extension of our agreement with Emirates led the way on partnerships as commercial revenue increased from 169.3 to 218.3. Because obviously on partnerships, you're in Champions League. You get the money. You get the money. That's why Daniel Levy talks about the Champions League so much. Because there's so much money in the Champions League. Even if you don't even do anything in the Champions League, if you're in it every single year, that's where the money is. I mean, 70 million increase for Arsenal in just that season alone. Difference of us and them was 90 million. If I'm doing, the majority of it in just that one area, and the fact that the Emirates side of the commercial things, hey, the Emirates, what does Emirates do for Arsenal? Stadium name. We still don't have a stadium name. So Daniel Levy's so worried about money. Stadium name. You talked about it for so long. We talked about it back in 2019. We're in 2025. Haven't done anything. He won't do it. He loves it. He loves it being called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He loves it. I know he will. I know he does. That's why he'll keep it there. God, no, but it's got value now because of that. Can I just ask you, Daniel? Do you know what the Staples Centre's called now? Oh, is it called the Staples Center? Oh, no, Daniel, it's not called the Staples Center. It's called the Crypto Arena. Where the Los Angeles Lakers play, a bigger brand than Tottenham Hotspur. You can still sell off that arena name, right? And keep events at that arena and still make loads of money. So I think, just saying, it could be an idea, Daniel. But what do I know? Nothing is the answer to that. It was rhetorical. But what Villa are doing in their mindset is we're going to pump money into the club. We're going to make some losses, but our performance in competitions will improve. And in turn, due to that, you will increase your revenue. Now, their revenue is just under half of ours. Look at their squad. Look at ours. Look at their rotational depth as well. Look at ours. They did that with that value. We've done what we've done with double the value. Now, I think people need to remember there are debts that Spurs incur. There are things that have to be paid for. I get that. I'm not denying that. I'm not hiding away from that. I'm not hiding it from you. But just saying. It's something to think about. It is something to think about. BBC Sport decoding Arsenal's hamstring woes. They wouldn't know what hamstrings are if it slapped them in the face. You pointing is killing me. That's 70 million. That's 70 million. Little one of those ones. Little point, little elbow raise. One of those ones, eh? Yeah, it's like when it's like when you say you need to leave someone's house. You slap your knee and you go, that won't do. Or all right then. One of those ones. One of those ones. I'm so white, it's ridiculous. As Champions League is so important, why doesn't Levy provide the manager of the players to get us into the top four? Because Spurs make money regardless. They make a bucket load of cash regardless. And for them, however they get in there in the cheapest way possible is what they will do. It will. You know, there's a reason why Villa are spending serious money to get in there. Chelsea spent over £1 billion to get back in there because they want to compete. Arsenal spent crazy money for years under Arteta before they even got into the top four. Like, they spent over £500 million trying to get back into the top four and multiple years to do so. Like, just remember that. You gotta, we have spent money, but we've spent it so poorly. And because we spent it so poorly, we haven't really surrounded the great quality that we had in that squad properly. Harry Kane's sitting there going, it'd be really good if we got some like real solid players in here. They go, we got Son. He's like, no, I know, I got Son. He's good. They're like, we got Romero. And I'm like, well, yeah, he's decent. And Bentancur's playing quite well. He goes, yeah, Bentancur's not bad. And he goes, there's no one else though, is there? And they go, no, there's not. So what's your transfer plans? Don't know. We're gonna thump cash at Clement Longley, see what happens. It's like, okay, we're not really ever going to compete, are we? Man City, you want me? Can I go there? No, you can't go there. That's unacceptable. Oh, and they made Harry Kane the bad guy to the Spurs fan base because they use the media to manipulate. That's all Harry Kane. It's all his fault. No, it's not. He should have. He probably should have left years ago. To be honest, he should have recognised it's not going to get any better. Finish in second. Champions League. What do we do after that? Bugger all. Bugger all. All right. No foot ocean. What Emirates do for Arsenal? Name and rights the same, and free airfares, but must buy in beverages on the flights. Hey, I'd buy a few beers on the flight. Hey, if you're going to give me a free flight, I'll buy a few beers happily. I'm looking at flights in the summer, and they are not cheap. And if I was getting free flights, yeah, do you know what? I will spend 50 quid on this plane because it's going to be cheaper. Give me 6 beers. I can only have 4. I will take 4 now, and I will take 4 later then. It's very simple. If Prashi comes back, he brings in Zaga. Deemed impossible, apparently. And I think Prashi will go back to Milan, Caleb. That's my guess. I think to Marzo we're talking about. I don't know. It might be April Fools, but I still think he goes back to Italy. That's my guess. At least Callum says he signed a new contract. That's positive. Yeah, I talked about it right at the start. Great for Callum. Really, really happy for him. Hope he gets a really good loan spell next season and takes off. But we shall see. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. Get your comments down below. I'll be there to check them in a short while. We'll be back tomorrow to give me my last minute thoughts ahead of Chelsea versus Spurs. And I look forward to that. I'm going to spend a little while since doing so. Enjoy the rest of your days, your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings, wherever you're in the world. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Peace.